Welcome to the Global Wellness HQ family of podcasts. We are your international headquarters for resources and ideas and insight in relation to the 9 elements of holistic wellness. Join us as we interview local and international wellness experts and learn how you can implement and improve one element or dimension of wellness at a time. Our experts will share their practical tips on wellness in one of these core areas: emotional, intellectual, occupational, physical, environmental, financial, spiritual, social, or habitual. We created our family of podcasts as a resource for anyone who is looking to integrate the 9 elements of holistic wellness into their daily lives. Welcome to the show.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Cash Flow Club, the podcast. And today I'm going to talk about the heaven or hell exercise. And really, truly, the whole point of the heaven or hell is if we don't know what things we personally should be doing in our day, how do we decide what to do to move our business forward? And one of the things we talk about a lot in our Cash Flow Club masterminds is doing the right things. And as a friend of mine put it, winning the right game. Because here's one of the secrets of being an entrepreneur. I know you probably haven't heard this. We can get really busy doing a lot of things. And sometimes those things just feel busy, they become habit, they become routine, but they don't drive our business forward. So I'm going to use a little bit of guidance from Perry Marshall's book, 80/20 Sales and Marketing. And if you haven't read it, I don't care what your role is, you should read it if you're in business. There's a chapter, chapter 15, which I highly recommend you read. It's about the relative value of the tasks that we do. And I'm not going to spoil the chapter, but basically, every business, every entrepreneur, every person has $10 an hour activities, $100 an hour activities, $1,000 activities, and $10,000 plus hour activities. And the reality is, if you want to grow your business fast, you need to get really disciplined and you need to focus on doing the 1,000 or 10,000 plus per hour tasks. If you get bogged down in the $10 an hour tasks, you're never going to succeed. You're probably going to give up. You're going to be that 96% of businesses that fail in the first 10 years because you're always going to be busy, busy, busy. You're going to burn out. You're going to be stressed out. And then if you're stuck in the $100 an hour tasks, that's great if you can charge that. But the reality is, the tasks you do, the value of them should always be aspiring to be higher. And that's just how successful entrepreneurs are. They spend time solving big problems that move their business ahead. So I created this framework a while ago, and I'm just going to say that this applies to the individual um, owner, it applies to the business as a whole, and it applies to your team. So you can do this in multiple layers. I recommend first and foremost you do it from a personal point of view as the owner of the business, then look at the business as a whole, and then maybe do it with your staff. Now, if you do it with your staff, caution, some people will take this and say, hey, I don't have to do this anymore. You need to be upfront with them and say, we're looking at making changes. We're not guaranteeing anything. But here's the secret: one person's heaven is almost always someone else's hell, and vice versa. So, in a perfect world, all of our team, our business, and ourselves, we're going to be focused on the heaven side of things because that's where we're going to get into the flow state. We're going to have fun. We're going to enjoy ourselves. And in a perfect world, we'd eliminate the hell side, the things we hate doing. So, let me break it down here for you. And I'll start with at the personal level, you as the shareholder, you want to sit down, and this could apply to your business, it could apply to your life, it could apply to any area of your life you want to solve or move forward. And on the left hand side, we have two types of things you love doing. There's the not doing it yet, but want to start. And there's the currently doing, but would like to do more. Now, just to give you some context, more often than not, your 10,000 per hour plus activities are usually left in the not doing yet but want to start column. So these are the big picture things. Maybe it's about a new marketing approach, maybe it's a new networking approach, maybe it's a new product, a new service. This is usually the sweet spot. And by the way, this is where visionaries like to hang out is they take these ideas and they implement them, and they build a team to keep that momentum going. So the highest and best use of your time is almost always the stuff we're not doing but want to start. And it's because we're bogged down with a thousand other things. So this is aspirational. The stuff on the left, things I love doing, that's the heaven. Those are the things we want to do more of. The things on the right, the hell, those are things we want to do less of. We'll talk a lot about what we can eliminate, what we can automate, what we can delegate. But the reality is, in a perfect world, we're all doing the highest and best use things, which would be the top left quadrant. Now, in a lot of businesses, there are things we know we should do and we'd like to do, but we're not doing enough. Again, we get busy. I've seen business owners who don't take a client call because they're busy changing toilet paper in the bathroom. Taking that client call is a higher use of your time than changing toilet paper. So the bottom left quadrant is the $1,000 an hour stuff that we know we should do more of. So, training staff, hiring new people, bringing in new ideas, brainstorming, finding ways to improve the business, talking about cash flow and managing cash flow. Those might be some of the things that go in your $1,000 an hour bucket. Now, over on the right hand side, top right, we have the things that we're currently doing but want to stop. And this is kind of the $10 an hour tasks that take time, keep us busy, but don't actually accomplish much other than we checked it off on our to-do list. So $10 an hour tasks might be, picking up office supplies. Could we automate or eliminate these things? You can hire a delivery service. Do you need to do these things? Could you eliminate them? And then the bottom right is the $100 an hour tasks. And these are the tasks that we should be delegating. And so these might be things that we could hire somebody to do. They give a little bit of value, but not a lot of value. Maybe ordering new supplies, stocking inventory, things like that. These are things that add value to the business at the roughly $100 an hour rate. So we want to find ways to either delegate it or eliminate or automate if possible. But the idea is if something is relatively worth $100 an hour, it's not, do I give up money to get this done? Because a lot of people make that mistake. They say, oh, I'm bootstrapping. I need to save money. I'll do it myself. That's free. But the reality is, if we're bogged down with the things in hell that we hate doing, we're never going to have the energy to do the things in heaven that we love doing. And so we need to not look at it as how much does it cost to get somebody to do the hell things. We need to look at it as what's the value of me doing the heaven things. So again, looking at this, bottom right is relatively $100 an hour. Top right is relatively $10 an hour. Bottom left is 1,000 an hour. Top left is 10,000 plus per hour. So my question to you is, what could you do to eliminate 5 hours of your time, 10 hours of time on the hell side so that you can spend 5 or 10 hours a week in the heaven side? And what difference would that make if it costs you somewhere between 10 and $100 an hour to get rid of the things so that you can earn 1,000 to 10,000 plus doing things you love? So think about this. This is integral to the cash flow club because we want to understand, are we winning the right game? Are we doing the right things to move our business forward? And honestly, I see a lot of entrepreneurs, they're just busy, 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 and they become busy for the sake of busy and they keep doing things because that's the way we've always done it. It takes real discipline to sit down and say, enough. We're going to stop doing this. We're going to automate this. We're going to delegate it. And here's the secret: find the things that take the most time in your week, cost you the most energy, get rid of them either through elimination, automation, delegation, and find, if you can save 5 hours a week, invest that time back in your business in the heaven things you love doing. And challenge yourself and say, is this $1,000 an hour task, or is it less than or greater than? So that's one of the fun parts about Cash Flow Club. Now, this is something you do as a human being first. As the business owner, you want to go through it. Now, as a business, you might want to look at it from a high level perspective. Do you have multiple products, multiple services? Are you doing a whole bunch of general things, or are you doing specialist things? And try to put them in relative value. Again, this is relative value, not absolute. Are you doing the best things in the business that you can and should do? For example, I work with a lot of professionals, a lot of service firms. They'll service everybody and anybody. Would you make more money? Would you be happier? Would you have less stress, better systems and processes if you worked with a set demographic or a fixed industry or a fixed geography? So think about ways from the business point of view how you could eliminate stress. And I promise you, it feels hard to cut things. It feels hard to say no to opportunities. But when you say no to the things that distract you, by default, you're saying yes to the things that move your business forward. Now, the final piece of this is, if you're brave and you want some feedback and you want to build your team up, do this with your team and have each individual list out the things they love doing, list out the things they hate doing, and find ways for the team, give them some ideas, brainstorm as a group. What are some ways they could eliminate some of those things? What are ways they could automate some of those things? And maybe they can delegate. And here's the secret: for a lot of people, one person's heaven is someone else's hell, and vice versa. Maybe one of the things you need to do is reallocate duties and tasks so that your staff are spending more time in heaven than hell, because the cost of leaving people in hell is dissatisfaction, anger, resentment, turnover. You can keep paying people more money, but at some point, if they hate their life, they hate their job, they will hate their life more, and therefore they leave. But the fun piece is, if you teach your team how to do this, teach them how to think about eliminating, automating, delegating, it builds a stronger team and it builds a leaner, stronger business, because you're not wasting money and resources on things that have just always been. So, heaven or hell, this is my favorite coaching exercise. It is one I do myself. It's one I do with people I care about. It's a fun exercise because it gives us that discipline to see what's going on in our world. Thank you, and I'd love your comments and thoughts below. If you try this, let me know how it goes. Again, you don't need the fancy sheet that I have. You can just draw, 2 lines on a piece of paper and write down heaven or hell. But this is a fun little exercise, and this is how businesses grow: when you focus on the most important things, solving the biggest problems. So thank you, and have a great day.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to our show. We hope that you enjoyed this episode, and we invite you to either click the link below or scan the QR code to register and listen to other episodes of our podcast. Or if you think your business or you would be a great guest to be on our show, we're always looking for experts in one of the 9 elements of holistic wellness. We'd love to have you. You can either click the link below or you can scan the QR code and complete our speaker intake form. Thank you, and to your wellness.